We'll
Hey,
see.
Michael, I have a friend that may chime in named Cecile in case you see her name.
No worries. Thanks for the heads up. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So just to repeat, this moment is all that is. Now the me is on a journey, so it literally cannot see that. So if you take yourself to be a me, then that won't make any sense, that this is everything. This is what you're looking for. Because the me looks around and goes, no, this is boring. This is, you know, my apartment, because it thinks it knows what it is. Do you see? I already know what this is, so it's of no interest. I'm looking for bigger, better. Overlooking this. This couldn't be freedom. This couldn't be peace. This couldn't already be the wholeness that I've been seeking. Just everything as it's happening right now. That's what the me says. How long was I gone for?
No time.
Okay, so believe it or not, Michael getting kicked off the internet is wholeness, is freedom.
Yeah.
Now, the me thinks I'm kidding, but it's really true. Because see, the me starting from its beliefs, which are broken. Its beliefs don't have happiness. So if you start from what you believe, that will never take you to the peace.
Right. It's not a thing you can think about.
Yeah.
Not a thinking thing.
Because it's, but do you know why, Joan? Do you know why it's not a thinking thing?
No. I just know that it's not a thinking thing. It's like Voldemort, that which cannot be said, you know.
Well, we could do better.
All right.
We could do better. We come to Satsang to do better. It can't be thought about because it's already happening.
That's a riddle. It's just, all I can think of is present moment kind of stuff.
It's just what's happening. So you saying it's a riddle is freedom and wholeness already disguised as that question.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But if you're looking for more than that, you're going to be disappointed. That's the me's quandary. The me has an idea, right? I have this grand idea of liberation, of freedom, and what it looks like, right? Because I know, because I'm a me and I know a lot of things.
And I think I know a lot of things, but I know I'm full of bunk.
Well, then good. Then why do you listen to that one?
It toggles on and off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it toggles on, and I look at it and I see it, and then I'm like, yeah, you know, 2 minutes from now, that's not going to be there, so I'm not going to invest. But, you know, so it's like you see these things flying by in your head, and you just kind of, I'm not going to buy into that either. But I see it, but I see the thoughts, and I know they're just coming and going.
For who, right, Ron? From our private today, your brilliant question, who is having the thoughts?
I don't know where they come from.
Well, So here at Satsang, we take that seriously. We don't just believe them willy-nilly just because we've, believed them for the last, 5 decades or whatever. It's to be investigated. Are you your thoughts? And actually, Ron asked 2 good questions. He says, who's thinking the thoughts and who's believing them?
A good question.
Or sometimes you can say, instead of who, you can say what.
Okay, sure.
Because who puts a person to it and what makes it something else?
Yeah.
I don't have a clue. It's just.
You can't figure this out, Joan. You sit there every week and say, I don't have a clue. I can't figure it out. It's like a repeat performance. You give up. You can't figure it out. So
Yeah.
So go with what you keep saying rather than just keep repeating it. Actually, because giving up means stopping. Just stopping for this moment and not needing anything, not wanting anything. Because if you notice, those thoughts, right, are in movement. Those thoughts are in movement.
They are.
But what's present that doesn't move?
The perceiver, the witness, something's watching it all.
But you can't know what that is.
Right. Don't know what it is.
I know, but for some reason, like Diane said last week to Brittany, but why don't you believe that? It was a really powerful moment because Diane kind of put her finger on it and said, no, you said all the right things, Brittany. You said, I see this space that's looking out my eyes is empty. Look how simple. Emptiness looking at fullness. Nothing appearing as everything. So it's an appearance. That's the mistake the me makes. The me only gets half the memo. It takes this as real and only real. It's not. It's both real and unreal, just like a dream, like last night's dream. When it was happening, definitely felt real, but where is it now?
Puff. Gone.
Yeah.
That's you.
And what a perfect segue, because Alice and I also had a private, and that was on Monday. And Alice, do you remember our mantra?
That I don't exist. There's no one here. No, it's not that at all. It's that it's all about me.
Yes.
All about me. And that has saved me some grief this week. When my friend came over and did her thing where I used to judge her, and I just sat there and said to myself, it's all about me. It's all about me. And I didn't get hooked into her stuff.
Beautiful.
So that has helped me a lot this week. It's all about me.
Yeah, and let me just explain. Thank you, Alice. It's so beautiful. Now you can see why I love my, quote, job, because I love sitting with people in presence, and you should hear the stuff that comes out of their mouth. It's the one. It's the one speaking through them, but they don't realize it. So they kind of discard it. And I'm the one, like with Ron today, I caught him. I said, that was beautiful. Let's stay with what you just said. Who's thinking these thoughts? Who's believing them? It's a powerful question. You don't need any more than that. But during our time together, I was saying that we're going to go the opposite direction. So usually the kind of normal way we go about life is sort of, especially if you're a spiritual seeker, is to kind of say, well, yeah, I know there's no me, but then all our words and our actions tell otherwise. And with Alice, what we started laughing, and it took a second for her to get it, because I'm over here going, yes, because I'm the most important thing in the world, you see, and everything must meet with my approval. So if it starts raining, I didn't approve that if I don't like it. And you have to, I'll give you the secret, you have to take it over the top, like you're this dramatic actor or actress. And, you know, it is all about me after all, darling.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Jaja.
Because in a way, you're lampooning the me. You're actually going the other direction. Instead of denying the me, like a lot of see, that's the me's tactic in satsang, is it'll still feel like a me and think like a me and feel separate, but it knows the lingo. So it'll say, oh yeah, there's no me, because it can speak non-dualities. That's not good enough, because that's just an intellectual, so great, you're agreeing, but you're still suffering. So the freedom here is to poke fun and make it all about the me. Everything that happens, hey, I didn't say it was okay for me to get kicked off the internet during satsang this evening. Apparently they don't know who I am. See, now, and I want you guys to practice this, because you can't, it's really hard to keep a straight face if you're doing it with the correct tongue in cheek. You just can't take yourself seriously after 2 minutes of going, it is all about me. The universe does revolve around me. I think it's pretty obvious.
Well, it really made me see with my friend when I told myself it's all about me. It really saved me from pain and some suffering, even though I just kept repeating that to myself. So I didn't say it to myself in a funny way, I guess. I just...
Oh, no. Well, no. No, you have to say it in a funny way, because otherwise you're going to... This is all about me. No, it's meant, because here's the thing, Alice. Without you, what's the experience like with just listening to your friend tell a story?
Then it would be, I would have to guess. She just, see, right now I'm going to my mind to try to guess what that would feel like. But I would, her story might seem funny to me, really, I guess, when I think about it.
Yeah, because there's no Alice there judging it. Remember, the me is like a guard at the mind, and it says, you can come in, you get out. It's constantly playing traffic cop, and it's judging completely arbitrarily, because I promise you, whatever you think is abhorrent and disgusting, somebody pays good money to have done to them. Okay? So, you know, we hold on to these these judgments and criticism like they're gospel, like they're actually the truth, and they end up poisoning us. You're the only one that suffers. When you have a story about me and you're believing that, nobody else suffers. Well, maybe, right? Because if we're taking ourselves seriously, then we infect, you know, all the other people. But when you're not there, you're open. Now there's a space here for whatever's presently happening. So we're just having a Zoom satsang. Nothing else is happening right now.
So I like the way you use the word authenticate when we had our session. So if I'm suffering, I authenticate that. I wasn't absolutely 100% sure yet what that meant. That I allow it, when I authenticate something.
I gotta say, Alice, I'm not quite sure, and if you're having this, do you guys all get the tone of my voice that I'm trying to be as sarcastic as I can? I hope that's clear, Alice. The point is, the me doesn't exist, but it feels like it does. So by saying it's all about me, the whole world revolves around me, again, you're kind of going the other direction. You're going over the top, like vaudeville, to kind of poke a hole in the balloon of meanness, because the me it doesn't feel good. It's this contracted ball of energy, and it permeates everything in our experience. So it's not just in the body. As Jim Newman talks about it, he talks, the me is like this cloud of knowing, and I really love that. And that cloud of knowing permeates everything you do. So the thicker that cloud is, the more trouble everything is, because the me is always going to have judgments and opinions about this, that, and the other. It's endless. There's no peace. Just trying to be right. That's what the me is always about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what if the need to be right or wrong, let's set that aside for a moment. How's that feel?
Peaceful.
Yeah, it feels good. Lighter.
I go through
Me,
this.
it's really heavy.
What'd you say, Joyce?
Me is really heavy. Feels like a burden.
Oh my God.
Michael, I've got a little song here for Alice. Just 2 seconds of it and have a listen.
Please.
Me, 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 me,
Me, me, me, me. Me, 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 me.
Oh, didn't the Beatles write a song, I, me, my?
Mm.
Thanks, Diane.
Sure. And that's one of my Zumba songs. Every time I do it, it really makes me laugh because it's all about me, 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 me.
That's perfect, Diane. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's the kind of spirit. See, when the me's taking itself serious, it's very, a serious matter. And the me, and I was there. I remember what it was like to be a me when I was younger. And it was basically like being so uptight because it was like you had a stick up your ass everywhere you go. So you really, your laughter was very measured. It's like, ha, 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 that's not funny. That's about me. It's funny when it's on someone else, not me. That's the me, you guys. That's the me in its natural habitat. It's funny, except when it's about me. Now, times that by 8 billion. So you've got 8 billion. That's what they tell me. I've never counted. Never. So each one is walking around with a story. And we're trying to connect through our stories, and it doesn't work. But if we drop the story, hold on, somebody's gonna turn the volume. Just for a second. Uh-oh, I still hear it. Ha! Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah, I was hearing, I lost my train of thought.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
So for me, it's not so much being right or wrong, it's being good or bad.
Well, aren't they related?
This is good, that's bad.
Aren't they related? Isn't that two words for the same? Being right is being good and being wrong is being bad somehow?
No, something happens. I don't have to be right to determine that it's good or bad. I mean, have completely outside of my
Okay, so that's an example, right, of the me, again, wanting to negotiate. So good or bad, wrong or right, don't feel good, right, Joyce? The judgment is judgment, whether it's right or wrong or good. You're still a me that's trying to parse out what's good and what's bad, and that's only suffering. So what we're interested in at Satsang is the wholeness that's already here, but not noticed when we're too busy in our head judging the individual appearing objects. Why do you need to decide if things are good or bad or right or wrong? You don't need to do that. That's just an opinion.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not, I don't, you know, it's not right or wrong. I'm arguing with you. I have to be right. No, but if I buy a stock and it goes down, I think that's wrong. Well, no, I don't like that.
Right. And so you suffer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying, Ron. If you hold on to your judgments as if they're real, you will suffer. Sooner or later, right? You can pay me now, you can pay me later. So what we're suggesting at Satsang for you to entertain, as Paul Hederman says, is the fact that maybe the idea of being me is just that. It's a lifelong idea that we've all held that turns out to have never happened. Now that is radical. It's the most radical thing you can hear, is that what you've taken yourself to be never actually existed. Now, again, depending on how that hits you, does this moment without a me feel like good news or bad news? There you go, Ron.
It kind of feels like both.
Okay, let's take a look. Why, Joyce?
Well, it's scary.
Sure.
To the me to let go of everything it thought it was. And it's also very freeing knowing that that me is such a burden. And there might be a detox when you're, letting go of something that's been poisonous. There might be a detox effect, but in the long run, it's very freeing.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense what you just said, Joyce. From the me's perspective, there would be nothing more terrifying than suspecting it doesn't exist, right? That's going to make it uncomfortable because the me has been seemingly the driving force. But the message at Satsang is no, it was never the me, it was life. Life is the driving force. Or as Eckhart Tolle says, you don't have a life, you are life.
I can see where people could be uncomfortable in letting go of a dysfunctional familiarity because it's known.
Yes.
And to give it up for an unknown is, to me, it's like bungee jumping or something, you kind of just like bungee jump and go, whee!
Diane, you must have something to say here about this.
What I was thinking is it depends on how much you think you control the world, because I spend a lot of time counseling people, and the ones I see who really think they're in control of their life, it's just deadly to think that you're not. And I actually said to a woman yesterday, and on 2 occasions I've heard scientists talk about this, about how they have proved that the thought before you have it is actually erupting in your brain, coming up about at least 7 seconds before you actually decide and have that thought and make that decision is made. And that's horrifying to a lot of people, to actually just to let go and let life, you know, and stay in the present moment without having an agenda about the future. And it's sometimes it's difficult to listen to, and sometimes I can get a bit of an edgeway in there and say, you know, about your expectations that you have. If they're not fulfilled, you get sidetracked and then you suffer. And they agree with that, but they don't want to let go of that.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know nobody knows what it takes for someone to let go. And then Michael's, in my case, it was getting pretty low. It's like, well, you know, what else have I got to lose? I'm just going to let go. So it's like hanging onto a branch and letting go.
Yeah, thank you. Well said, Diane. It's the thing is though, I can share one thing that may be of value to you, is that's the me's biggest trump card, is no pun intended, is to scare you. No, don't think about breaking up with me because I'm your guide. I look at how you need me. So you've heard me talk about the Stockholm syndrome, about falling in love with our captors. You've heard me talk about, I'll give you a brand new blanket, still wrapped and fresh, for your old stinky dirty one, but you have to give me the old stinky dirty one first. And a lot of people would, exactly what you said, Joan. At least I know my old dirty stinky blanket. So there's a lot that's not so easy to give up. But like Diane said, there's a point where you can be ruthless about this and you don't give a damn about any blankies, because you just have to have freedom like you need your next breath.
The other quote I heard that was funny was, what, and give up showbiz?
That's great. But here's the beauty. I actually really like that quote. In a way, it's more fun when the me's not there. When you're not taking yourself to be a me, it somehow frees you up to actually get more into life. So this is not a denial. I often hear that criticism of non-duality, but it's just the me coming up with another argument, because that's what the me does. But the reality is you're much more less self-conscious because there's less self there to be self-conscious. So that's the me's trump card. It's going to try and bluff you and say, this is terrifying. That fear is its last. I'm sure Muji has talked about this, Diane, about that feeling of fear, like the mind goes boogaboo. Oh, he talks about throwing a rock in the bushes to distract you. And that's the mind's master job, is to keep throwing rocks into bushes. And, oh, what does that mean? So you keep going to questions and you think they need to be answered. But as we saw, Uncle Jack said last satsang, the problem is the question. Without the question, there's no questioner, and there's just the moment as it is.
Well, without the question, there's no problem. Yeah, I was reading something that said, you know, meditation or something is when the questions disappear, when all the questions disappear.
Yeah, because there's just what's happening. That's why you hear teachers say it's too simple for the mind. And I'm trying to explain why that is. So it's not just, you're not just going, okay, yeah, it's too simple, the mind, and then you go back into mind to try and figure it out. It's too simple because it's just this. It's just the monitor, the sound of my voice, the colored images of people's faces on your screen. This is the miracle.
How would you use the analogy of the Truman Show in this discussion?
Well, it's perfect, because at the end of the Truman Show, Jim Carrey starts to investigate farther out Where before, he stayed right in the village and all the actors were all trained to come out and do their scene. And so he was fully in the illusion. And that's a great analogy, Joan, because that's sort of how 99.9% of the world stays in the dream, because they stay at that perfect distance where the dream keeps fooling them. So here at Satsang, we deconstruct, we investigate, we do what Jim Carrey did, where he walked to the edge of the ocean and he saw that there was a tarmac, it was a painting, you know, he's out there on the rowboat and he's like, wait a second, something's not right.
And he found the door.
Yeah, so the thing that's so mind-blowing about this has always been it. It's never been broken. It's only our believed in stories that something is wrong that has caused all the suffering.
Michael.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi. I just wanted to say that I don't know, since last week I've seen that the me that I keep taking myself to be, really I only remember it in memory. And it's like it's in memory, and I keep identifying with that memory of it, but but that too is seen, so it's not me. But I don't know why. I don't know what I'm trying to say. and I don't now I just don't feel like there's anything to do. And then I must say too that my mind did not want me to come to Satsang tonight. It was like, do not go, you are not going, you are not going. And I was like, hell if I'm not. So it doesn't like you.
Yeah, trust me, Brittany, you're not the first.
But thank you.
Joanna,
Thank you.
give you a thumbs up.
Yeah.
No, this is everything you guys are saying is spot on. This is very confronting, and that's why a lot of people move through satsang and they come and they go, because it really is for those who are
Tired.
yeah, exhausted. And as I've said, I remember Muji telling a story about a girl at a park one day. He was giving a talk at some college, and on lunch she went across the street and had a little picnic at the park, and she saw a woman that was really happy. And she just couldn't help noticing how, you know, this exalted expression and contemplative prayer. And she finally asked her why she was so happy. And she said, oh, because my guru told me that I'll awaken in just 5 more lifetimes. 5 more lifetimes? 5 minutes is too long. If awakening is available here and now, and by the way, it is only available here and now. So that's another problem, little niggling problem for the me. The me is past future. Like you said, Brittany, it lives from memory. It always checks back in. And the memories are not even accurate. Like I was thinking about a memory of me as a little kid, and the point of view was from the camera was like above me and my father. And I'm like, and I remember I was a little kid and I was taking a shower with Dad, and I was getting out and I actually caught my thumb in the shower door and it bled. I screamed. And my recollection was as if a camera were above the two of us, and him like realizing he'd shut the door on my finger, and me crying. But how could the camera have been above me looking down if I only had an experience from my eyes looking down at me? So the mind is completely fabricating it, and then we believe these memories that aren't even true.
Yeah.
The mind's a computer. It's a computer, guys. It's a living computer. It stores memories. It protects the body. It has a very important but limited function. But the thing goes kaplooey when we mistake ourselves for the computer.
And it can be so deceiving sometimes. I don't know. It's really easy to just, especially when it comes with like such, I don't know, like such burning. I guess it is, and it's so easy to just identify with the memory of myself. And I know that's not me. And I think that's what was really just getting on me. Like, it's like when I took myself to only be my body and my person, that's all I knew. But now that I know that that's not me, it's like it makes me so angry. Like, I don't even want to identify with it. Like, I want to put space between it. And I feel like it causes suffering. If that makes any sense.
So Brittany, let's get a little work done, yeah? So working satsang. Let's look right now, in this moment, who does it make angry?
Yeah. Yeah, and that I've also been looking at because I've been looking at the eye.
No, stop. See, this is called running the red light. I just gave you a stop sign and you just ran it. A ticket to you. So let's back the truck up.
Okay.
And go back to who's suffering right now. See if you can find that one.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. I want to look. There's nothing here. I can't find anything. I can't find the sufferer.
And this is where Diane chimes in. Why don't you believe that?
Because.
Keep looking. Keep going back. Open the closet door. See there's no ghost in there. I don't care if you have to do it 1,000 times. What else you got to do? What do you got more important to do?
Nothing. Nothing. I have nothing more important to do than this. Freedom in this lifetime is, not even in this lifetime, like now, I want it now.
So there is only freedom now, but just not for the me.
And I feel like I'm not afraid to let go of the me. Like, I don't want it, but yeah, maybe I'm still clinging to it somehow.
Yeah, but do you see the trick there? That's perfect. That is so good. I wish we could. Oh, we do have it on film. Right? Because look at, did you guys catch what just happened? Her me is trying to figure out how to get rid of her me.
Yeah.
Do you see the woohoo? Where's the circus music, Diane?
The ego chasing the ego.
The ego has now made getting rid of itself into its new project. That's how spirituality first hits people. It doesn't get rid of the me. It just gives the me a new project, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But eventually that too can wear out. So that's why there can be a time where a teaching that still sort of caters to the me a little bit, like I'll give you an example, like mindfulness. Mindfulness is not what we're talking about, but mindfulness can be incredibly helpful and useful for calming down, just learning to not identify with your thoughts and to realize there's just the simplicity of whatever's happening. Once that calming has happened, then we're able to go deeper and say, okay, now let's see if this phantom me that I've always taken myself to be, if it actually exists.
But coming to see that, like, there's nothing here, does just like the ego just gradually, will it just fade away? I mean, I feel like I pulled the plug on it. Like, I don't want to give it any more energy, but yeah, I guess, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it'll just.
Okay, let me, I'm going to try something. You ready? So, okay, I know there's not really a ghost in my closet, but I'm really trying to work with it because I know it's not there.
When you say it like that, Michael.
That's why I get the big donations.
Oh.
Ron called me a one-trick pony. He said, Michael, you keep hammering the same point relentlessly over and over and over. I said, flattery will get you nowhere.
It reminds me of the Woody Allen joke that goes, my brother-in-law thinks he's a chicken, but we don't have the heart to tell him because we need the eggs.
The eggs. That's it. That's it. There you go. Very good, Joan. That's it.
I've been remembering the Santa Claus image you gave a week or two ago. It's like, when I think something is real, well, do I believe in Santa Claus?
Good. And the me is a fiction exactly the same way Santa Claus is, amazingly. They're both stories. It's just that the story of me you grew up with. You heard it from day one. So of course there's that conditioning is going to take place. And so nothing's gone wrong. That's what I want to say. It's just grace when the epiphany hits you. Oh, so there's a time when it's appropriate for a little kid to believe in Santa Claus, you see? You wouldn't go up to a 4-year-old and rip the present out of their hand and say, well, there's no Santa anyway. No, the kid, it's a game. It's a play. It's a play. But at a certain point, there comes a time when you're told, well, actually, Santa never existed. It's just it's a good intention. It's a spirit of Christmas. It's giving and charity, but it's a fiction. So that's the news about the me. The me too is a fiction. And again, how does that hit you? If no me sounds like heaven, you're in the right room. But for most people, saying there's no me, it just doesn't compute. It'd be like saying there's no Santa Claus. And they're like, what do you mean there's no Santa?
So let me get this straight, Michael. So what you're saying is there's no Santa Claus?
Boom. Alan will be appearing Thursday nights at the Laugh Stop. That was good. That was good. Perfect. So that was a good example of inflection. He had the right tone to sell it. So you're saying there's
all those hard years of acting school. Just kidding.
You hear, from Eastern teachers and all, you hear that when we have an awakening, which, Brittany, it sounds like you had kind of an awakening last week, and it was really joyful to watch all your laughter and joy come out. So you hear, and I know this is a story too, but I want to hear Michael's take on that. There's an integration period. There's an oscillation period where we don't want to let go of the me or whatever, and we go back and forth, and there's an integration period where you embody the truth. So you probably poo-poo all that, but I'd like to just hear your take on that.
No poo-poo. So it unfolds as it unfolds.
Yeah.
Everybody's different. So one of the games the me likes to play is the comparison game. Well, how come Eckhart awoke and never seemed to vacillate and I seem to be? Forget all that. That's just more story. That's just your mind causing trouble. You're not Eckhart. Your experience is unique to you. It's perfect. Nobody else gets to have your experience but you.
Well, Simon and Garfunkel had a lyric, any way you look at his, you lose. So whenever you compare, you always lose.
Yeah, but what Diane and I are pointing out is that we take that seriously only because we suffered so much. So that's why I said last week, in a way, that the kindest thing I could say is I wish you much suffering.
Just expedite the process.
Well, because it's like the me clutches, like you can feel the energy of it not wanting to let go. But what would happen if you just didn't care about that? Okay, so there's vacillating is going on. That appears, because remember, there's only what's happening in the moment. So if vacillating is what's going on, then vacillating is what's happening in the moment. But it doesn't mean that anything's gone wrong. And that's why the mind freaks out. Oh, well, I guess I'm not really there because, I'm vacillating. I think I'm a me again. No, that's a trap. The message from Satsang is you've never been a me. You're not a me. You couldn't be a me to save your life. There is no me. There's only one. That's why it's called non-duality. There's not two things here, even though it looks like it. I get it. The waves look separate, but it's one ocean. And the more you identify as the one ocean, the less you'll think of yourself as a wave. The more you think of yourself as a wave, the more you're going to see others as wave, and the ocean will be hidden.
That just made so much sense. I've never been a me. I keep thinking I'm going to go back to being a me, but how can I go back to being a me? I was never.
She got it. Got it.
You guys are so beautiful. I saw Uncle Jack over there wigging out, Brittany. You guys are so beautiful. You can feel the lightness. It's very palatable when you guys poke a hole. Oh, that was funny. I just see a cat's tail wagging. No Brittany and a cat's tail. Perfect.
She's gone.
The tail chasing the cat.
She's gone.
Brittany somehow muted herself.
Yeah. Can you unmute her?
No, it's okay.
I'm muted, yes. Now I'm unmuted. It's so much fun. This is such an extraordinary time. Yes. Oh, I can feel the air now as you fan yourself. Wow. When you're out of the box is like the ego, who we think we are, and what other people think we are is their opinion of what it means to be in the box. But when you're out of the box, you're not the doer, you're not the me, you're just watching the unfolding as the one. And it's so much fun. It's so much more fun. That it's just unbelievable. It's believable and unbelievable. But it's an extraordinary time that we're all having right now. And in this precious moment, my life as the box was extraordinary because I didn't take myself seriously. I felt it was something working through me. So my GPS was God positioning soul. So it wasn't me having to do it. It was doing it through me, watching it beyond the I and the, but of course I did all that stuff too. I mean, I had a very, very strong box, but my life, as I look back, the less serious I took myself, the more free I was. The more free I was, the more I can enjoy the unfolding drama. And it's extraordinary. And I've seen Magic Mike when he was a little boy as the youngest magician at the Magic Castle in Hollywood, and how his life has unfolded magically because he knew that he was more than just the sleight of hand. And it's a precious time that we're all in. But I'm talking too much. When I'm talking, that's because I'm asleep. When I'm awake, I'm in silence.
Thank you, Jack. I just love to hear you talk. It's beautiful.
Me too.
I have to plug in the hearing. Oh, if I plug in the hearing, you know, I'm using an iPad, and I didn't plan to be here, but I didn't notice what I'm saying. I didn't plan to be here. Like this angel here didn't plan to be here. It's all an unfolding, extraordinary experience, and the more that we can laugh and enjoy it, the freer we are. The sense of humor is the sixth sense that allows us to enjoy the other five.
Oh,
Brittany's still going at it. This is hysterical.
I like that. Okay. So thank you, Uncle Jack. Thank you guys so much. I hope our time together, I really encourage you to rewatch this video. I'll try and get it up on YouTube in the next 24 to 48 hours. I'm always available. You guys can email me. Any question. There's no such thing as a silly question. Thanks everyone for coming to Satsang.
Yeah.
Bye, you guys.
Enjoy, Brittany. Enjoy.
See you guys.